G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Cold Water with Mags, and welcome back aboard our 688. Now we've just finished resupplying at Holy Lock, and we've headed out into the Norwegian Sea. We've picked up a submarine contact out there. We haven't yet identified it. We're currently set at about a close rate of 15 nautical miles, and we are going for an ID. And as you can see, I've got the rocket launch torpedoes loaded up, the UUM-125As, which mismarked. There should be Bs. The As, as I understand it, are actually nuclear-tipped anti-submarine torpedoes. We've never found a usage for these. I'm still carrying 2 on board just in case I need them, but we haven't actually used them yet, so I want to see how they work. So we're going to see... That's close. It's not quite, though. I want to see exactly how these things operate. So we're going to see if we can get a good location or a good ID on this submarine. Maybe it was. It doesn't seem to line quite up here or here. The whole thing's slightly skewed left. Towed array out? No. Towed array is out, yes. Double check and make sure this doesn't align with any surface ships. I'm not 100% sold on that being a Gulf. Oh no, there's a good chance. It's a trawler.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is classified as merchant.
Right, that is a trawler. That is not our target. Where the hell is our target then? Alright, so there's a hostile submarine somewhere in the area and we cannot hear it at all. We do have a bit of surface noise. What is our current condition? So we've got no thermal and we've got no duct. That's 100 dB. So it's actually fairly noisy at the moment. There's actually quite a bit of surface noise on there. It's going to make finding things difficult, even with the towed array. I hate to say it, we might have to go active for this one. Basically, if you look at Soviet submarines, over here and have a look. You look at their noise output, 128, 123, so they're all usually around 123, 119. Victor 2 is pretty quiet. Alpha's 125. You see, they're all around the 120 range. So with an ambient noise in the water of 100 dB, the difference between the noise a submarine is making and the ambient noise in the water is only 20 decibels, which is not a lot. It's enough that we'll be able to, see, for something like an Aquila, it's only 18. A Romeo, not a particularly dangerous submarine compared to our 688, but it's only 109. 9 decibels a difference. We would struggle to pick that up unless we were nearly on top of it. 107, a Tango would be worse. Kilo, 107, that is a lethal little machine. As much as it's a diesel-electric, it is a modern diesel-electric, especially by the time frame of 84. That is a nasty piece of work, and we would nearly be on top of it, tripping over it by the time we spotted it. But yeah, you get the idea. Looking through most of these, 120, Echo's about as noisy as they get, 130, 130s, but we're looking mainly around 120 or below for most Soviet submarines, so we haven't got a huge margin for noise here. Generally, I like the noise around 80. We can pick things up nice and nice and long range there, but we're not going to have much luck here, I don't think. So we're going to go active, and to see if we can get a return and at least get a direction. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, it's right on top of us, and we're only just picking it up. All right, I want Go left rudder 10 degrees so we can make a turn to see if we can get the toterway around here. Now, what have we got? Two distinct here. Oscar. I'm going to go with that for the moment. Alright, so we have an Oscar. 123 decibels, 32 knots top speed. Solution's only 40% at the moment, so I want to let that build up, especially if we're going to try and launch these. Hopefully it's not that close. Hopefully it is not that close. These, the UUM, I think it is, so see if I'm pronouncing the names right here. Yeah, UUM 125As. These are rocket-propelled torpedoes, so, well, rocket-launched torpedoes. So you load them into a torpedo tube as normal. They fire out, they break the surface, fire an engine, fly to location, and when they land, they deploy a torpedo. And the torpedoes, at least for Epicmod, they should really be able to hit anything, but for Epicmod, they will only hit submarines, not surface ships, which is why I've had limited usage on them so far. Now, they're not obviously not wire controlled. Once the torpedoes are down, they will detect whatever they detect, and I think they're smaller than the 48s. I can't remember what torpedo they actually load. I know the A model is meant to be nuclear tipped, but yeah, ignore that. It's actually supposed to be a 125B, I think, which is conventional torpedo, but it's smaller than a Mark 48, I'm pretty sure. So, as I said, I haven't used these in-game at all. I've got these, I think I fired a couple of them off, but they did nothing. I wasn't aware that they didn't work on surface ships at the time. So, this is a bit of an experiment. But there is a minimum range. They do have to take off and they do have to fly a certain distance before they can drop. So if you're too close, if the target is too close, you cannot hit them. Oh, and the Oscar just went active. Alright. Damn it, that's what I'm talking about. Minimum range. She's still too close. Alright. Well, what we'll do... Just check her depth. She's still pretty deep. So the torpedo to dive. Oh no, she just pinged and she's turned away, but she never counterfired. And we've got a Sierra 3 now. What is Sierra 3? That red is a Golf. That's going to be another trawler. That'll be another trawler. I bet. Where are the trawlers? Yep, another trawler, I thought so. Okay, so we can discount Sierra 3. Yeah, Oscar pinged and then turned away. And we've lost her completely. Alright, so I'm going to make my turn. Right rudder by 10 degrees. She didn't seem to fire anything. So using a little time acceleration to speed up the turn here. And we'll run it straight now. We'll send off a torpedo. Aye, sir. There's the counterfire. She heard that. She was listening for that.
Sonar switching to active.
Return active. We should be able to hear her better than this, even in this water.
Sonar regained contact.
There she is. Okay.
252.
She's at 21 knots at the moment. She's reading 6.8. Not sure why that was red then. Maybe as a side effect is this. I'm going to give that a shot. Boom. First one's away. Second one's away. We'll reload these with traditional torpedoes. Those are the only two we have, so we're going to see how these go. Now what they should do is they should hit the water and they should start spiraling, looking for a target. We'll follow this one through. Arc. Real high arc. Boom. And they should free fall down now and it should release a torpedo. Torpedo dropped, parachutes deployed. Right, now I know I've got torpedoes that are coming in. Reload the Moss. Looks like we're pretty accurate on the drops, although a little bit short. We should have led more. Now, hopefully, I hate to do this, but I have to pull the Toterine. Hopefully, damn it. So, alright, we are now diving. Alright, so lesson learned with deploying these things, you need to give a hell of a lot more lead than you may initially think. Although it looks like one of them's picked up. Alright, so hopefully that torpedo will circle around, it'll miss us, and they'll re-pick up the Moss and head away. No. That was close. That's right, keep looking around. The Moss is over there. Take the Moss and go away. I've lost contact with the, Yep, they've picked up the Moss, and that one is circling back, so we can just dive down and can go very quiet, hopefully. Passive sonar, because I didn't realise we were still ticking along on active then. And looks like torpedo is still... That one's heading for the countermeasure. Hopefully it'll turn back around and it'll reacquire the Moss as well. And that should be far enough gap that none of these torpedoes re-pick us up on the turn back. We can countermeasure deployments over here, and it looks like 2 has started picking up countermeasures or is picking up the Oscar itself, which is good. Now what we're going to do depends on what this torpedo does, and it's making a left-hand turn. Nice. Alright, so hopefully it'll reacquire the Moss. And we didn't lose the wire in that. 1,000-foot dive. Well, actually, 1,228, and I never checked exactly where the bottom was. Alright, so we don't have a bottom here. I do at 2,100. That's alright, we'll crush before we hit there. It picked us back up. damn it. Alright, I'm going to have to trust 2. Yep, we're going to have to accelerate.
Turns 3, 0, none. Maneuvering on.
The right-hand turn, keep making the turn, keep making the turn. The distance, and drop decoy.
Contact 0, 2, last bearing 2, 7, 6. Contact faded.
And there goes the wire. I knew that was going to happen, but that's fine. Torpedo should have taken the countermeasure. Torpedo is spiraling, looking for target. So it's far enough out that it's...
Con sonar no longer cavitating. Passing 200 feet.
spiraling back through the center. Alright, so there should now... doesn't appear to be changing depth, so there should be now at least 800 to 1,000 foot distance between that torpedo and us. And I can't for the life of me see what's actually going on over here with the Oscar anymore either. I think we got it with one of the airdrops. I think one of the rocket launch torpedoes actually did hit it. Unfortunately, I've got no idea what happened after that. And torpedo has not reacquired us, so I am now going to actually make a turn. And I'm going to keep turning back over the top of this torpedo. Because why it's directly above me, or why I'm directly above it more, it won't have the angle on its cone to be able to detect us up, but if I head too far out, it will pick us up and we'll have to re-dodge again. And I'd rather sit, make the turn very slowly, have it circling underneath us where it's of no real risk, until it eventually fuels out and detonates, and then we can make the run. We'll do a sprint directly towards our Moss, because the Moss is roughly halfway between us and the last location of the Oscar. So we should be able to cover at least half the distance to the Oscar at flank speed without being detected. And if we are detected and any torpedoes are fired, the counterfire should pick up the Moss so long as the Moss is still active. So we can reuse it as we close back in. We definitely haven't sunk the Oscar at this point. The question is... well, actually, it might be worth, once we've sorted out this torpedo, and I know I'm safe to do so, it might be worth poking our heads above the surface and actually popping the radar. Because if we did hit the Oscar with with one of the torps, it might have gone to the surface due to flooding. For the moment, however, we just got to wait out this torp. Alright, so, took a couple of minutes, but the torpedo has now detonated, so let's go to periscope depth. Wow. Oops. That one. We're only at 72 feet, so this will only take a quick second. We'll poke our heads above the water. We'll pop up the radar mask and the ESM mask and see exactly what's floating around. Alright, radar up. ESM up. We're getting active pinging. Confirmation on M1 and M3 are now confirmed trawlers, which we're pretty sure of. We are being actively pinged, most likely because of the Moss approaching on the location of the Oscar. Countermeasures. Alright, so let's go to 300 feet. And we're going to go to flank. So now we're just going to cross the distance to the Moss as quickly as we possibly can.
Steady course.
Unfortunately, it means whatever damage we did do, if we did actually hit the Oscar with the torpedoes, it wasn't enough to force it to the surface, so she's still probably combat capable. Alright, so it turns out I was incorrect. We now have confirmation of the Oscar, and it turns out we did... Did we get her? I can't... Yes, we did. We did absolutely get her, and we did force her to the surface. She must have been just out of our range. So she's actively pinging at the moment, looking for us. But she can't see us because she's on the surface, which is kind of a sad way to go, but torpedo away. Current range is only 4.3 kiloyards. She's going to see this one coming. Actually, because she'll see this one coming, it's probably best that we send the torpedo a little bit to the north and then turn it back down, so hopefully the counterfire goes somewhere other than where we are. Yeah, I was right. She did run to the surface after all after taking damage. I don't know how many torpedoes she hit. I do not know if the Mark 48 we sent after her that we broke the wire on hit her. We do not know. I'm still pretty sure the rocket launch torp actually did its work. But yes, we have managed to force her to the surface. So now it's just time to execute her. Bit of time acceleration to speed this up. Boom. Torpedo has acquired. And being surface running at the moment, yeah, 16 knots, there's nothing she can do. I mean, just look at this, there's nothing she can do. She is a huge, huge target. Boom. Done. To the bottom with ya. Alright, so that was a little bit of an effort. We'll leave combat here. So, one Oscar 1 sunk, 16,500 tons, so that looks fantastic. And in the end, we only fired 2 Mark 48s to actually kill her. We did use the only 2 125s that we had. Yeah, I wanted to experiment with them before I pulled them completely out of the hull, just to see how easy they were to use and how useful they will be. Honestly, yeah, I think I'll stick with the Mark 48. So the next time we go into port, I'll pull the last 2 of these out and take 2 extra Mark 48s on board. They're an interesting concept. They would be very useful if I could fire them, and they would pick up surface ships as well as submarines, because they would be a good replacement for Tomahawk, since I don't actually have any on this particular version of the 688. I'd needed a later version, or a later variant, to be able to get the Tomahawks. But, yeah, since they can't do that, I will pull them out the next time I go to port. So continue to complete the task. So we're still free roaming at this point. We have no exact mission objectives to follow. So, heading out from the Norwegian Sea, it looks like we have more submarines up to the north, and we'll go and intercept these ones next. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. Cold Waters will be returning to the channel very, very, very soon, and until next time, take care.